Hi, still day two. I wanted to do a quick update while I have some quiet time. The last video I did was about how I made breakfast for everybody, but it was 7 in the morning and no one wanted to get up. Anyway, so that's happened, and I'm struggling a little bit right now. I've got a headache and just really extreme fatigue. Like, if my husband and kids just wouldn't be here, this would be, I don't want to say a walk in the park, but it would be a lot easier. But instead, there's like constant questions and talking and noise and neediness and everything. So it's definitely hard to do this being a mom of two little kiddos. So, anyway, so today I had lemon and ginger water for breakfast, and then I had a red juice that I made, which was pretty good. Um, and I took that to the park. I got the kids out of the house and took them to a park today. Um, just to kind of get some energy out too, and I could get some sunshine. But I was just sitting there and I was so tired. I just didn't really want to get up and do anything. But anyway, and then they all wanted lunch, and I got to hear about all the different ideas of what we could eat today, and I'm so tired of hearing about that. So I'm home drinking some water, and my husband ran the kids to get some Chipotle and then some chicken and stuff to grill tonight for dinner. So I just asked if he would drop me off here and do that just so I could get a little bit of time. It makes all the difference just to disconnect from them for a little bit because they're just loud. Um, anyway, a couple things have happened. So I came home and right now I need to shower and I need to unload the dishwasher. I need to clean the juicer and I need to make a green juice and I need to have some more vegetable broth and I need to do a load of laundry. And I'm tired. So instead of doing any of those other things, I decided to lay down for a minute, even though I knew I wouldn't really sleep because they're going to be home soon. I just thought my body just needs to not move. So I've been laying here for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. And it was really weird because I wasn't asleep or anything. I was just thinking. And I'm not quite sure what even started the conversation, but oh, no, I do know. And this is what's cool is I just said like a kind of a prayer or just like a kind of just like in my own head. I was just like, God help me because I'm irritated and I'm hungry. And, biblical fasting, you're supposed to ask God to fill in those times when you're hungry. And it was weird though, because I didn't really think about it. And then right away, I've just had clarity or just peace. It's not like everything's been answered by any means, but I kind of had this vision in my mind of, um, like I pictured almost like we're in a fishbowl, like humanity and Earth is this fishbowl, and like God created it and he's looking into it. Like it's his project that he's so excited about, and it's something that he made and he's watching it and things happen naturally in that system, like people are hurt or injured or whatever and we have minds of our own, so we do things that are sometimes off. And it doesn't mean that God never sticks his finger in and like picks up the piece, right? If it falls or does something, but it's also a knowing of, hey guys, it's okay. And this, I probably shouldn't give this example, but one thing that really bothers me is that poor family who lost their son to the alligator in Florida. And I just cannot, I mean, we hear tragic stories all the time, but that story just, it trigger, I mean, it's the one that will stop me in my tracks every time. And I wish I could offer those parents something. I wish I could do something. Like I can't other than pray for them. But that story is one of those that just makes you say, okay, God, I was with you till here and now. And I know that sounds bad because there's huge other tragedies out there, like hundreds, thousands of people killed. Okay, I get it. I know. But there's sometimes something just hits close to home for whatever reason. And this one does because, we would have been those parents. We would have thought, Disneyland was safe or Disney World was safe. And who doesn't want to see their little boy light up in nature or in that moment? So I think our son, now I've never seen that area. Okay. So I don't know, but I feel like we probably would have assumed it was safe unless it looks really sketchy. But from what I hear, it doesn't. And I would have not wanted to take that moment away from my son of being in the water knee deep or whatever he was. It's I don't know. So that being said, when I can really put myself in those shoes, I have a hard time with that. So that kind of came to my mind when I was thinking about this, and I just said, "Okay, God, like, but explain that." And it was almost like this was all unfolding in my mind as I was laying here, and he kind of told me, or I thought of anyway, the kind of thing like God doesn't want to see that happen either, but he also knows right in that moment, he knows that that little boy is with him and that little boy is safe and it's not over. And if anything, that little boy has more peace than he would ever have here. And maybe he starts again. Maybe he does something else. I don't know how all that works. But I had this moment of God's not heartless. God's not cruel. God doesn't care. It's not that God doesn't care. It's that he knows that it's not as serious as we think. And that sounds awful because I don't know how I could reconcile those things if it was my child. Like, it's easy to look on the outside in, but that was one little insight. And the other thing was for the parents, that same moment of clarity that I just had in my own bed about my own thoughts about, is God real and why suffering? He can offer that to those parents in this crisis, so everybody's, on their own journey or in their own mind, but I feel like he gives people what you need when you need it. So those parents facing that, maybe when they turn to God, that clarity's there for them. And I don't know if it's fasting or what it is, but it just connected dots. It's just intriguing. Like, I'm kind of sitting here like, okay, God, you've got me for day 2. Like, I'm with you for day 2 because that was cool. Like, that was a really cool moment. And I hope, people who are suffering, and I'm suffering in my own ways, which is obviously why I'm doing this. But it's cool to give that space, so I just, if I do experience tragedy, or for anyone out there suffering, I don't know, making that space and saying, okay, God, make it clear to me. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not crying to you. I'm saying, give me the answers that I need. And like relaying it on this video, you guys might be watching it being like, wow, that's not very profound. Like, cool, glad you had that vision, whatever. But for me, like, it was my click. I still have lots of like cynicism and anger and confusion and whatever, but it's just really cool to feel that, like, I just laid there and it was almost unfolded and I saw this God like looking into this bowl of us, and it wasn't that he didn't care. It was like he's just watching it. And a part of the beauty is that we can do what we want to do in the fishbowl for the most part, and for better or worse, we can do that. And then my mind went to, well, why the ambiguity of the Bible? Because now my husband says the Bible's that statement is silly, because if I actually look into apologetics, I'll see that there's no doubt about the Bible, yada yada yada. And I do plan to get there on this journey, but right now I'm not there. So right now all I see is, why are we pawns in this game? Like, why this weird Bible, and why do I have to say I believe in Jesus and then follow these steps? Like, it just seems kind of like I'm just offended by that. I'm angry by that. I'm like, okay, why not just like pop down through the clouds and be like, hey guys, I'm here. It's real. Like, let's do this. And to be honest, I still don't fully understand why not. But in my vision that I just had in my mind, I kind of played that out. I said, okay, what would happen if that did happen? So I pictured him like, sticking his head down in the fishbowl and saying, hey guys, um, I'm God, I'm real, I created you, like, how cool is this, right? And then I thought of him kind of being like, but I'll be back, like, just whatever, I'll be back, I promise, right? And I was thinking, okay, what would be our next action? And at that point, I haven't thought this all the way through, but I feel like I was kind of at a loss, like, what joy would we have in our relationships or our careers or our professions or just any activity really. Like if you know that this is a facade and you know that like that guy just poked in and said can carry on, it just kind of took something away from it. So at this point, like trying to keep a very open mind to Christianity, I guess I can respect the fact that the ambiguity gives us more of a sense of free will. And my hope is that when it's all over and said and done, we're not angry about the free will because we're so overjoyed with that peace in that moment that we have in the end, to where we kind of, it just all comes together. So, anyway, last thing about that is after I kind of came out of that vision and I was just grateful for that moment, whatever it was. It just reminded me like the biggest part of fasting, I think, is what I'm learning is that if I wasn't fasting right now, I would have been at Chipotle with my family and I would have been at the grocery store and I wouldn't be laying in bed and I wouldn't have had that moment. And that's really cool. I just quieted my mind and I quieted and I made space for it. Like I was like, okay, I actually now I have broth to eat. But I mean, I don't have a meal to prepare. I don't have those things. So in my system, if I would have gone to Chipotle, I would have had cheese, a tortilla, beans, rice, meat, sugar, because I drink tea there and I put that turbinado sugar in it because I'm so bad. Anyway, but that just gets me like amped up and I'm in my fog and then I come out and then I get my next fog. It's just weird. So I'm grateful for that, this calmness. Even though I've got a headache, even though I'm angry, I can't, I have to appreciate that moment that I had, that calm feeling of, God or my own mind filling that time for me and giving me something that like, my brain liked that. Like I like the way I feel right now. Um, and I feel that, another thing off that topic is that my husband has to go in really early tomorrow. He has to leave the house at like 3 in the morning for a flight. And I was like, well, cool. We'll all go to bed with you because mommy's fine with going to bed at like 6 right now because I'm so tired. I just want to sleep the next 20 days. Um, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh, wait, no, the kids are going to fall asleep in the car and then they're not going to want to sleep. So I started to like worry about that. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'll just stay up with them. And I got excited about like watching a movie. And then I realized I don't want to do that. I just got excited about the food that I would have. Like I thought that I would have like ice cream. And for some reason, I'm craving Cheez Its. And if anybody knows me, like I don't eat that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, my food is like pizza. And if I go out to eat, I eat real food. I just eat a lot of it. So, like a big burrito at Chipotle or a pizza. I'm not really like I don't have, our pantry doesn't have chips or crackers or anything like that. We're just, I don't know, that's just never been my thing for years now. But this Cheez It obsession that I'm having right now, like the thought of that, like, I don't want to say cardboard, even though that's probably what they are, but like there's this like dry, warm goodness. Like if I just put like a whole bunch of Cheez Its in my mouth and I close my mouth and it would like soak in and be so good. And then I'd start to chew them and they'd get that soft with just enough salt. And then like it would be like I'd be full because if you eat a lot of it, like I would just feel full. And so Cheez-Its are my thing today, which is so crazy because I just don't care about Cheez-Its. Anyway, so yeah, that would be my craving. Um, I can't think of much else. I'm doing my best to not share with people that I'm doing this. My good friend from back home knows. Obviously, my husband knows. My mom knows, and just one other friend here actually, because she just sent me a text, so she knows. I think, yeah, I think just the people that were at our house the night that I started know. So anyway, um, that's that. So I kind of think that keeping it more intimate is cool. Um, you don't have to explain it, and it just kind of seems, I don't know, it seems like it's just neat. It's kind of like my little secret. Now, I don't know, on like day 7 when I'm like twitching and frail and snapping at everybody, maybe I'll have to explain to someone like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a monster. I'm juicing, but for now it's kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it. I haven't weighed myself again. I probably will tonight. I'm just curious where I'm at. Um, that's it. So I'll check back in. Again, this is day 2 of 21. So wish me luck. Any advice, any tips, anything would be awesome. Thank you.